and action.
I'm Batman.
He's really a menacing character.
Taste of your own medicine, Doctor.
This one is really tough, gritty sort of Batman.
It doesn't take a lot to give into it, does it? And you kind of go along on the ride.
It was the graphic novels that really made me want to make the movie, you know, rather than anything I'd seen before in the other 4 feature films or the TV series. I couldn't understand why nobody had portrayed Batman in the way that you just see so vividly and strongly in the images from the graphic novels.
Who are you working for?
Dr. Crane isn't here right now. But if you'd like to make an appointment...
He's treading a very fine line because he's motivated by very negative emotions of rage, of guilt, of fear, of anger. And that's what much of the movie is about coming to terms with these kind of emotions and attempting to be able to channel them to be able to do good.
Bruce, deep down you may still be that same bright kid you used to be. But it's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you.
The thing I loved about the relationship between Bruce and Rachel was that of, you know, they've known each other for so long, and so they have that innate understanding. You know, they're best friends. I mean, you know, they grew up together. So when you have that relationship, you can be completely honest with somebody, and Rachel is able to tell Bruce exactly how she feels, and she really wants him to live up to his potential.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
Bruce?
He's a very human Batman, and being a very good actor, he convinces you of a preposterous thing, which is a man going flying around the sky dressed as a Batman. You go, what is he, nuts? But what he does with the fear, the picture's about fear. It's his fear of bats. He's being orphaned. He was orphaned watching Die Fledermaus, which is a German opera. In German, Fledermaus is the bat. And he got upset watching the bat in the opera. He comes out. Parents get killed in the alleyway outside, and therefore he takes the bat to scare the people who he goes after for the rest of his life as a revenge for his parents.
What symbol? Something elemental, something terrifying.
He embraces his fear, and he says in the movie, if it scares me, I think it will scare them.
Why bats passed away?
Bats frightened me. This time my enemies shared my dread. Michael did such a great job with playing Alfred because, you know, he is the only character that really knows Bruce completely. But they have this bizarre relationship where he is his surrogate father. He is his moral compass, like you said, but he's also his butler, you know? And so he has to do what he says at the end of the day. So there's a very nice, bizarre dynamic between the two.
Why do we force? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
You still haven't given up on me.
Never.
It's pretty exciting. I mean, I'm very, very nervous, obviously, but very excited. It's been a long journey, 2.5 years for me or something, of living and breathing and thinking about very little else. But yeah, it's kind of fun to be at the finish line.
I think it does definitely more than satisfy the comic book audience, but I think it's a great story in and of itself. And I think Chris Nolan did such a great job. I'm so proud of him. When I saw the movie, I was so excited.
I think what Chris Nolan's done here is he's made Gotham a very real place, a city that you and I would live in. And then Batman is extraordinary in an ordinary world. And I think that he's achieved. He's taken it right back to what really was the comic.
What do you think?
I think you're trying to help.
But I've been wrong before.
Christopher Nolan, the writer-director with David Goyer, is that they made a very, very plausible Batman. And so what you've got now is suspense, and it made it very, very realistic.
It's a problem with the graphite, sir. The next 10,000 will be up to specifications.
In the movie, he and I, I'm the butler, and he and I make the uniform ourselves. We make it.
Put it together ourselves.
Precisely.
But being as he's a billionaire and he's in the arms business, he has access to all this secret stuff. But all the stuff that you see us using is real. There's nothing supernatural about it, which is what I like about this Batman, which makes him vulnerable and human, and therefore you get suspense.
Terror-resistant.
This sucker will stop a knife.
Bulletproof.
Anything but a straight shot.
Why didn't they put it into production?
Bean counters didn't think a soldier's life was worth 300 grand.
We didn't want to make anything like any former images. Again, with the Batmobile, as in with the suit, everything comes from a military application. You know, Bruce Wayne has inherited this company, Wayne Enterprises, which you know, has its fingers into military developments, and basically he discovers all of the cast-offs, the things that the you know, Pentagon were not prepared to spend the money on for protection of soldiers, and he takes these things, he customizes them, and the Batmobile itself, you know, is kind of this stealth tank, you know, Lamborghini, Hummer mixture. It was a fierce and really menacing
and a
car.
real vehicle. I mean, this isn't.
Oh no, we had about 13 of them lined up. These were not models which were jumping in the movie. These were the real cars that were doing that. And also, I mean, I believe it was like 340 horsepower or something. These things were going up to, I think, like 140 miles an hour. You know, the camera trucks could not keep up with them. So they were really phenomenal pieces of engineering.
What street is he taking? He's not on a street, he's flying on rooftops!
I saw all the other Batman films, and I always remember them as being shiny. Everything was shiny. Here, everything's slightly dirty and gritty, and it looks like it's real, right through to the car. You know, the car's not shiny. It looks like it could really do stuff.
Rachel!
The day that I saw the Batmobile, I think that's when I really realized why men love cars, because I heard it and I saw the tires and I was like, ooh, okay, I'm in.
I drove in the camera car behind it, you know, at well over 100 miles an hour, maneuvering through cars and in a way that I think any normal car would have a lot of difficulty doing. And I watched them jump it, you know, 60 feet onto a freeway, and then it drove around for take two, and all the stunt guys who'd worked on all these different movies and everything, their jaws dropped.
At least tell me what it looks like. Never mind.
I'd rather be on the outside of that than on the inside of it. It looks so scary to get. It looks scary to get in, doesn't it?
It does look kind of like a tank.
Yeah, it looks like a tank.
Yeah. He is in a vehicle.
Make it color?
It's a black tank.
But what he does in this movie is he asks those questions. How does he get a Batcave? Where does he get that suit from? Who built the Batmobile?
Once you start explaining in realistic terms one element of Batman, you've got to go there and explain everything. Otherwise, you're going to hit that leap you're asking the audience to make. And the pact we've made with the audience in this film is we're not going to make them take that leap. We're going to explain how the costume is made. We're going to explain all of these things. So it was a challenge, but you know, it was quite a lot of fun sitting around, you know, thinking about how Batman becomes Batman.
And he answers all those questions, and we go, even though within the world, it's like an internal logic within that world. I mean, but you go, yeah, he would have the cowl made by one company and a mask made by the other, and he could order 100,000 because he's a millionaire. And you just go, the Batcave suddenly makes sense, doesn't it? You go, oh, yeah, and the car, does it come in black? So he paints it black. I love it. I think that's the fun of this. As it unfolds, you kind of go, of course, Batman. I get it now.
I never said thank you.